So I like throwing a curveball at the beginning. If someone has actually never seen anything that you've done, what is the first thing you want them watching and why?
In terms of films.
Yeah.
Well, this this would be a great sort of entree into it's interesting because I started in the theater, and so to be able to do a piece of theater, a classic on film, something that'll live on, something that people can watch, and to be doing it on this scale with this level of talent and this level of creators and collaborators. I'd love for people to sort of see this first, and then maybe, go and see, I don't know, something like Compton, straight out of Compton afterwards, or see In the Heights after that. You know what I mean? And so it sort of continue to shake it up. But yeah, this one sort of rings special to me right now because this is a I mean, I guess you could say bucket list, but I never really imagined in my wildest dreams that this would be a film that I would ever see come to light, but to then be a part of. So yeah, honestly, it would probably be this one, and my very short career, by the way. So
When you found out that you got this role, and it's with Joel Coen and Denzel and everybody, did you then think about just going to the store and buying some lottery tickets because that was the day that the shit was getting crazy?
Everything. I was like, I literally thought I had deja vu, and I again, I'm always like, deja vu is like when I was on the phone, when I was hanging out with my reps, I was like, I think it's the moment when God reminds you that you're on the right path, right? Like it's that moment where you have a out of body experience. Like I've been here before. I know what's going on, or something is aligning. And I wish I did go buy some lottery tickets that day because I feel like I'm serious. I feel like I just hit the lottery with that one, man, and just the artistic lottery. I mean, there was no time to sort of think about, is this something I want to do? Or it's just like, yes, thank you. I felt honored to take it on. So yeah.
Obviously, like you and like the world, I'm a huge fan of Joel Coen and the Coen brothers. What actually maybe surprised you about working with Joel that perhaps you weren't expecting going in?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what my expectations were. I just remember being caught off guard by just how cool Joel Coen is. He's just down to earth. And I just like talking to him. Like literally, I mean, he's just so easy to just get along with and just chat. I mean, we'd be standing out on the during a scene change or something like that. And I went every day. Moses and we would go sort of every day and just sit down and just like watch. It was like school for us. And just sit there and just chat with Joel Coen about films or about life or just, and then you're sitting there like pinching yourself because Denzel Washington walks by and joins the conversation and Francis is right here chilling. Like, it's just one of those, he's incredibly disarming. I remember the first conversation we had, he said, you probably know, more about this than I do. And in my head, I'm like, no, sir, no, I don't. But again, that's the sign of a director who is open, collaborative. Those are the great directors, the people who you trust. Denzel always says, trust the pilot. And that's a pilot who I trusted implicitly on this journey. His specificity, his all of that. He was Shakespeare. It just also feels like a match made in heaven that he's doing Shakespeare. It's just, it sort of lends itself to sort of the Coen-esque genre that we've sort of come to know and love.
I'm curious. I have so many questions for you. When you're filming that scene with Denzel, a third act, it's a climactic battle. At what point were you standing there looking at Denzel, getting ready to film a fight scene, and sort of had to did you ever like sort of have to take yourself back a second and be like, are you kidding me? Like, what?
Yes, of course. Yes is the answer. Those are the out of body moments that you have. When you look across from yourself, you're just like, you're living like, also it's like as a kid, you grow up, playing with swords and just, And then to imagine that now you're doing it with one of the greatest, living actors of our generation, and you're doing it while speaking Shakespeare. No words, man. I knew I was just lucky, and I also was like, again, that was like our first time doing it. That was like our first time actually doing it together. The day we were shooting it, we had rehearsed it separately, so there was that as well. So it was a lot of fun.
I really loved Bruno's cinematography in the film, and at times it reminded me of like German expressionism. And it's just so well done. Can you sort of talk about working with Bruno and what your reaction was when you saw the aesthetic?
That's my dude. Bruno is just, again, such an easygoing person. He speaks French, so he was trying to help me with my French throughout the whole time. He's like trying to do this incredible film, and I'm just like trying to like learn French from him. He is obviously one of the great cinematographers, and he just understands it and he gets it. And him and Joel's their language, the way in which they talk about things, is just so easy going. And I was just like, wow, their shorthand was incredible. But to be able to walk into that was like walking into a piece of living art, from the set designs and the way they lit it, and the way they and the way Mary Zofri's, Stefan's, set designs, and Mary Zofri's costumes, and how they all are in dialogue with each other and pushing this piece of cinema. It just takes you into this dreamscape that is neither play nor film, but somewhere in the middle. And it's a ride that you don't want to get off, or you can't get off, once you start. And that's just from, again, their incredible brain trust.
Last question for you. What do you think it is about Shakespeare's writing that has stood the test of time, that has had so many different people come back to it again and again to adapt it and bring it to life?
Shakespeare, I say it all the time, he was a poet of the streets. That's what he was. He wrote for every man. He wrote about the kings and queens and the courts and the palace intrigue. And he wrote these incredible plays that have stood the test of time, because while the characters change, the plot stays the same. So while we over time, have come and gone and left this earth, and come and gone and walked the earth, and the characters stay the same. There's that, the plot, sort of stays the same. There's always the people sort of fighting, for ambition, fate, there's love, there's mistrust, there's sacrifice, there's all of these things that we all know and love, and the beautiful poetry of it that helps us wrap our minds around it, and feel it. But the plot stays the same. Politicians will it's just everything will play its course. And I think that's the beauty of Shakespeare, is that it just reminds us of that. And that's the beauty of, this again, like you watch a film like this and you go, oh, wow. And you look at yourself and you're like, well, what is fate? What is choice? Do I have a choice? If I do choose this route, what are the implications? And you feel it in a visceral way. And that's what I love about it, man, the music.
I got to go. I just want to say again, congrats. You were great in this. Wishing nothing but the best.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's good to see you.
Thanks, man.